Dear students, today we are going to see the lesson climate, India's climate. First we have to understand some terminologies about climate. When we say climate, what is its elements? Elements of weather and climate. First we have to know what are all the components of climate and weather. Temperature, rainfall, wind, humidity, atmospheric pressure and cloudiness. These are all the elements of to measure weather and climate. Then what is the weather? Weather refers to the state of atmosphere over an area at any given point of time. How the atmospheric conditions varies over an area at a particular point of time is called weather. Then next, climate. Climate refers to the sum total of weather conditions and variations over a large area for a longer period of time, usually more than 30 years. That is called climate. Climate is the sum total of weather conditions over larger area for a longer period of time, more than 30 years. That is called climate. Seasons. Next, based on the general monthly atmospheric conditions, the year is divided into different seasons like winter season, summer season, rainy season and so on. The next, monsoon. Monsoon refers to the reversal in wind direction during a year. Monsoon is the word coined by Arabian sailors. It is an Arabic word, mosam. That means wind. Monsoon is the reversal in wind direction during a year. That is called monsoon. India's climate is monsoon type. Though India is said to have monsoon type of climate, all of India show significant variations in climatic elements. One such variation is noticed in temperature. In summer season, temperature in Rajasthan is 50 degrees Celsius, but in Pahalgam in Kashmir, temperature is registered at 20 degrees C only. Variation of just 30 degrees C. Similarly, in winter season, night temperature at Trans in Kashmir Valley is minus 45 degrees centigrade. Very low temperature. But in Thiruvananthapuram, in southern tip of Indian mainland, the temperature is 22 degrees centigrade. So see the variations. More than 67 degree Celsius in Celsius variation. Even in the same place. So far we have seen temperature variations in different places. Sometimes even in the same place, for example in Thar desert, day temperature registers up to 50 degrees centigrade, but the night temperature falls at 15 degrees centigrade. That is, the diurnal variation is more in Thar desert. But at the same time, in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, there is hardly any difference in temperature. Andaman Nicobar Island records minimum of diurnal variations in temperature. Next, precipitational variations in India. As far as precipitation is concerned, it varies both in form and type. As far as form and type is concerned, in Himalayas, precipitation occurs in the form of snow, whereas in the rest of the country it falls as rainfall. Amount of precipitation also varies across the country. In Meghalaya, 400 centimeters of rainfall is recorded. But in Ladakh and western Rajasthan, in Thar Desert, less than 10 centimeter annual rainfall is recorded. Apart from annual distribution of rainfall precipitation, we can notice seasonal distributional variations in India. Most of India receive rainfall from June to September. Tamil Nadu receives rainfall during October and November. There is a variation between different parts of our country. Tamil Nadu receives most of the rainfall during October and November, whereas the rest of the country receive rainfall during June to September. Coastal areas experience lesser variations in temperature due to moderating influence of sea, whereas the interior areas show wider fluctuations in temperature and other parameters also. Rainfall decreases from east to west in northern plain. So there is a reason for that. We will discuss in this lesson. Similarly, method of living also varies across country. The food we eat, clothes we wore, and houses we live in vary depending upon the amount of rainfall of a place. So, such kind of variations occurs across India. Both temperature varies, precipitations varies, even method of living also varies. Next, find out question. Why the houses in Rajasthan have thick walls and flat roofs? Why? You know, Rajasthan receives lesser rainfall. People construct houses with a flat roof to conserve whatever rainfall received on their places and their houses. So, houses built in Rajasthan have flat roofs. Thick walls construction enables to prevent hot weather penetrating into the house. Next to find out question is, why is it that the houses in the Therai region and Goa and Mangalore have sloping roofs? These are the three regions have been receiving plenty of rainfall. To avoid water stagnation in the building roof and to avoid damage to the building, sloping roofs are constructed so that rain received over the roof easily get drained. Next to find out question is, why houses in Assam are built on stilts? Stilt constructions means houses are built over a concrete pillars structure. See the picture, you can understand very well. Why stilt houses are built over stilts? In Assam, you know, it is the flood prone area because of the widespread flood caused by Brahmaputra river. To avoid water getting inundated, getting into the house, houses are built over stilts. Next we are going to study climatic controls. What are all the factors that control various parameters of a climate? First parameter is latitude, second is altitude, third pressure and wind system, fourth distance from sea, how much distance a place is located from sea, then ocean currents, there are warm currents and cold currents, both affects coastal areas, then relief features, various physical features, how it will affect climate of that region. These are all the things we are going to study. First is latitude. You can see the picture from equator. If one moves from equator to poles, temperature decreases. That is the fact. Why it decreases means the sun rays fall over this increasing latitudinal region in a slanting position. So heat intensity is reduced in the higher latitudes. So if a man moves from equator to poles, temperature decreases because of the falling of sun rays in a slanting position. Next, altitude. How it affects our climate? Temperature decreases if one moves from plain to hilly area. The reason is atmospheric pressure is decreases over the increasing altitude. This is the reason why hills are cooler during summer due to lower temperature in higher altitudes. In Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore records moderate temperature, whereas Ooty in hilly area records very low temperature due to increase in altitude. Next climatic control is pressure and wind system. Pressure and wind system contributes to rainfall in general in all the places. This pressure and wind system depends upon latitude and altitude of that place. So it influences rainfall as well as temperature. Next climatic control is distance from sea. Sea has a moderating influence over climatic parameters near seashore area. If one moves from sea to interior areas, there is higher variations in temperature as well as precipitation. So distance from sea largely contributes to the variations in temperature and precipitation. Next, ocean current. We have ocean currents, both warm currents and cold currents. Warm currents, if flows over a coastal area, that region will be very warm and have low pressure. If a cool current passes through a shore, it will have a very high pressure and low temperature. This pressure in turn will affect the rainfall behavior of that region. Next climatic control is relief. In India, mountain acts as a barrier against hot and cold winds. For example, Himalayas prevents cold wind from Central Asia from passing over to India. It protects from cold winds emanating from Central Asia. Next, Western Ghats. Windward side of the mountain receive higher rainfall, whereas the leeward side of the mountain is a rain shadow region, receives lesser rainfall. The rainfall received due to mountainous physical feature is called orographic rain. Next question in your book is why most of deserts are found in western parts of the continent. Look at the map, you can see the difference. In Asia, western part of Asia is desert area. Middle Eastern countries. In Africa also, entire stretch of northern Africa from east to west is desert. Similarly, in South America also, western part is a desert. In North America also, western part of that continent is a desert. Why? In all continents, western part is desert, because easterly winds bring rainfall to all continents. These easterly winds blow from land to sea to land. If this land move further into the land, it loses its moisture. So when it reaches western side of that continent, it brings little or no rainfall. So in that area becomes desert. Then factors affecting India's climate. First factor is latitude. India's latitude, India's Tropic of Cancer runs from Rann of Kutch in west to Manipur in east. 23 degree 30 minutes north is the Tropic of Cancer. North of Tropic of Cancer region is called subtropical, whereas the south of Tropic of Cancer is a tropical region. So India have both the tropical and the subtropical climate. Next factor affecting India's climate is altitude. In India, we have Himalayan mountains with an average elevation of 6,000 meters, whereas we have vast coastal areas also. Altitude of that coastal area is at the maximum of only 30 meters only. So we have area ranging from 30 meters altitude to 6,000 meters altitude. This altitude largely affect the climate of India. For example, Himalayas prevent cold air passing from Central Asia to India. It is a barrier to cold wind from Central Asia. Because of the Himalayan mountains, India experiences mild winters when compared to Central Asia. Without Himalayas, our winter season would have been very severe. Factors affecting India's climate. Next factor is pressure and winds. Pressure and winds affects India's climate. For example, these are all the three things: pressure and surface winds affects India's climate. Then upper air circulation, air circulated over several thousand meters above sea level. Then western disturbances and the tropical cyclones. These are all the three factors that contributes to India's climate. We will see one by one. Surface winds and pressure. India lies in the region of northeasterly winds. Northeasterly winds blow from high pressure subtropical belt in northern hemisphere to equatorial low pressure belt in equator. When this wind blow from northeasterly direction, it is deflected to the right direction due to the Coriolis force. This northeasterly wind blow from land to sea. So, if a land blows from land to sea, it carries little moisture with it. So, it will bring little rain to India. But India receives rainfall over the monsoon period. How it happens? Let us see why. First, we have to understand what is Coriolis force. Coriolis force is the apparent force caused by the rotation of Earth. We know Earth revolves around its axis, as well as revolves around the Sun in elliptical path. When Earth rotates around its axis, winds is deflected to the right in northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. This type of deflection happens to the force exerted by the rotation of Earth. This force is called Coriolis force. Pressure and wind conditions over India. In winter months, wind blows from high pressure areas in north of Himalayas to low pressure area in the southern ocean via India. Because this land flow from land to sea, it brings little or no rainfall to India. But in summer, low pressure develops in northern India, northwestern India and interior Asia. In this season, wind blows from high pressure belt in southern Indian Ocean and crosses the equator and turns right and blows from southwesterly direction. Since this wind blow from sea to land, it carries lot of moisture and it brings rainfall to India. Then upper air circulation. Upper air circulation is called jet stream. Upper air circulation usually happens above 12,000 meter altitude. Westerly winds that happens in troposphere layer. Its speed is 110 km per hour in summer and 184 km per hour in winter. This jet stream approximately located between 27 degree north to 30 degree north latitude. So this jet stream is called subtropical westerly jet stream. 27 degree to 30 degree north means is a subtropical region. This wind is also called subtropical westerly jet stream. This jet stream flow south of Himalayas throughout the year except in summer. In summer season it moves north of Himalayas. In summer season jet stream moves subtropical westerly jet stream is replaced by subtropical easterly jet stream. That wind blows over peninsular India at 14 degree northern latitudes. Next, western cyclonic disturbances. Western cyclonic disturbances is originated from Mediterranean Sea. It moves from Mediterranean to West Asia and from West Asia to northern India and northwestern India. It brings rainfall in winter season. Apart from these western cyclonic disturbances, tropical cyclones brings rainfall and mostly in October-November months. In October-November months, coastal regions are benefited or affected due to the severe weather conditions arising out of tropical cyclones. Odisha and Andhra Pradesh coasts are often affected by the tropical cyclones during November and October months. Next, monsoon winds. Monsoon winds are experienced in tropical area between 20 degree north to 20 degree south. How monsoon winds develops? First reason is the differential heating of land and water. When sun apparently moves towards north in summer, land in northern India heats more and low pressure develops, whereas water in southern ocean is heated lesser than what is happening in land. So high pressure develops southern side. So wind moves from south to north, southwestern direction to northeastern direction due to Coriolis force. So first and foremost reason for developing monsoon wind is differential heating of land and water. Next is shift in position of intertropical convergence zones to Gangetic plain. Intertropical convergence zones usually lie at 5 degree north to 5 degree south. In summer season it moves towards north in Gangetic plains, whereas in winter it moves towards the south. So intertropical convergence zone movement causes monsoon winds to develop. Next factor is development of high pressure area at Madagascar, usually at 20 degrees south of equator. Madagascar is located in the southern part of Indian Ocean. When high pressure develops in that region, wind from that high pressure area blow towards India. It brings rainfall. Then intense heating of a Tibetan plateau in summer. When Tibetan plateau is subjected to intense heating, low pressure develops. To fill the low atmospheric pressure created in this region, wind from higher pressure area, that is from southern ocean, blow over India towards Tibetan plateau. The next factor is movement of westerly jet stream to the northern Himalayas. As I have already told you, westerly jet stream usually blow over south of Himalayas throughout the year except in summer. In summer season it moves towards north of Himalayas. It is replaced by easterly jet streams towards peninsular during summer. These are all the reasons for the development of monsoon winds. Then we have to know intertropical convergence zones. Intertropical convergence zones, actually trade winds, surface winds blow in northeasterly direction in northern hemisphere, southeasterly direction in southern hemisphere, usually between 5 degree north to 5 degree south. In summer season, these intertropical convergence zones move northwards. In winter season, this ITZ zone moves southwards. This movement is one of the reason why monsoon winds develop over India. Then pressure conditions in southern ocean is also a factor to the development of monsoon winds. In normal condition, tropical east and south Pacific. You have to imagine the tropical area, both south and north part of equator. Region between Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn is called tropical area. Now we have to consider only south part, equator to Tropic of Capricorn. Among this southern part, consider the east and south Pacific region. If that region develops high pressure area, if Indian Ocean develops low pressure area, wind from south Pacific to blow from south Pacific to Indian Ocean. That is happening in normal condition. But in certain year, this condition reverses. Low pressure develops in South Pacific Ocean, high pressure develops in Indian Ocean. Wind reverses its direction from Indian Ocean to South Pacific Ocean. Wind blows. This reversal of wind direction is called southern oscillation. There is also affecting India's monsoon. Now look at this map. This arrowed mark is southern Pacific Ocean, south of equator. Wind, if high pressure develops in this region, wind starts blowing from this region in western direction and reaches southern Indian Ocean, and it turns to right in southwesterly direction and bring rainfall to India. Then next, how intensity of monsoon is predicted. We have two places. One is Tahiti Island in South Pacific Ocean, eastern to anti-meridian line. That is the geocode of that region is 18 degrees south and 149 degree west longitude, 18 degrees south latitude. That is the location of Tahiti Island. And one more place, Darwin in northern Australia, 12.5 degrees south of equator, and 131 degree east of prime meridian, 131 degree east of prime meridian. That is the location of Darwin. Pressure difference between these two places decides how intensely Indian monsoon will be developing during a year. The difference between these two places, pressure differences between these two places were negative. The monsoon is expected to be below normal or will be developing very late. So it will affect our Indian monsoon very severely. In short, low pressure will have to develop at Darwin so that this pressure difference will be positive. Winds will be blowing from Pacific to Indian Ocean. Next factor is El Nino. Usually, Peru is the country located in South America. Around the Peruvian coast, warm ocean current usually passes along. But in every 2 to 5 years, cold Peruvian current develops in that region. If a cold Peruvian current develops, there will be a high pressure area. If that high pressure area is developed in that region, wind from low pressure Indian Ocean will blow in the direction of Peruvian coast. So Indian monsoon will be affected. This is the normal year. Cool current passes over Peruvian coast. Cool current means that pressure will be high in Peruvian coast. Wind will blow from Peruvian coast to Indian Ocean. But in El Nino year, warm current develops over Peruvian coast. Warm current means low pressure will be developing in that region. Wind from Indian Ocean will blow over to Peruvian coast. So it will severely affect the development of Indian monsoon season. Then onset of monsoon and withdrawal. In Indian monsoon's duration is usually 100 to 120 days. Rainfall increases suddenly and continues constantly over several days if monsoon develops. Indian monsoon arrives first week of June in southern tip of peninsular India. Once it reaches the southern tip, it divides into two branches. One is Arabian Sea branch, another one is Bay of Bengal branch. And in the Arabian Sea branch, it reaches Mumbai in 10th June. It reaches middle of Saurashtra and Kutch region around middle of June. Whereas the Bay of Bengal, it arrives in Assam in the first week of June. This wind is deflected by lofty Himalayan mountain ranges towards west and cause rainfall in Ganga plain. The Arabian Sea branch and Bay of Bengal branch merge over northwestern part of Ganga plain. Delhi receives from Bay of Bengal branch of southwest monsoon during the last week of June. Usually 29th June every year Delhi receives rainfall. In the first week of July, western UP, Punjab, Haryana and eastern Rajasthan receives rainfall from Bay of Bengal branch. In the middle of July, Himachal Pradesh and the rest of the country start receiving rainfall. As far as the withdrawal of monsoon is concerned, southwest monsoon withdraws from northwestern states of India by mid-September. By mid-October, the entire northern half of peninsular India, this is southwest monsoon withdraws. By early December, it withdraws completely. In islands, especially Andaman and Nicobar Island and Lakshadweep Island, monsoon showers starts from south to north direction from last week of April to first week of May. But withdrawal takes place progressively from north to south, that is in the reverse direction from first week of December to first week of January. Then seasons of India. Indian climate is divided into 4 seasons. One is winter, the cold season, the summer, hot weather season. Next, advancing monsoon season and retreating or post monsoon season, otherwise called transition season. First, winter season, it starts from mid-November to February. December and January are the coldest months in India. Temperature in this season decreases from south to north. Chennai experiences an average 24 to 25 degrees centigrade, whereas northern India in winter experiences 10 to 15 degrees centigrade in temperature. During this season, days are warm and nights are cold. Frost is common in northern India and higher slopes of Himalayas experiences snowfall. Northeast trade winds blow over Bay of Bengal and reaches the eastern coast, and Tamil Nadu receives rainfall and the rest of the country is dry during winter season. Then high pressure develops in northern India. Due to apparent movement of sun towards the southern hemisphere, high pressure develops in northern India. Light winds move out of this area, blow through Ganga from west and northwest. Weather in this winter season is noted by clear sky, low temperature, low humidity and light winds. Western cyclonic disturbances is one of the important significant parameter that gives rainfall in northern India. In this winter rainfall is locally known as Mahavat. Though it is very small amount, it is good for rabi crops. Then peninsular India doesn't have a well-defined cold season due to its proximity to sea. Seasonal variations, diurnal variations in temperature is hardly noticed in peninsular India. Next season is hot weather season, summer season. This season starts from March and ends in May. Global heat belt moves northwards due to apparent movement of suns towards north. Temperature in March is 30 degrees centigrade in Deccan region. In April, 40 degrees centigrade in Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and in May it is recorded 45 degrees centigrade in north and western part of India. Temperature in peninsular India is relatively low due to moderating influence of sea, because peninsular India is surrounded by sea on three sides. Another characteristics of summer season is rising temperature and falling air pressure. In northern part of the country, temperature rises and air pressure decreases. Due to low pressure area develops in Star to Chotanagpur plateau, wind starts circulating towards this area. Another one particular feature of summer season is there will be strong, gusty, hot and dry winds blowing over northern India and northwestern India. That wind is called Lu. Apart from this Lu, there are some dusty storms blowing over northern India. It brings a temporary relief as they bring a light rain and cool breeze. Apart from these Lu and dust storms, there are some localized thunderstorms associated with violent winds and heavy downpours and hail. In West Bengal, this localized thunderstorm is known as Kal Paisakhi. The next is pre-monsoon showers, usually happens at the end of May. Usually it happens in Kerala and Karnataka. It is useful for mango ripening. So this shower is called mango showers. Next season is advancing monsoon or a rainy season. In earlier June, low pressure area develops in the northern plain. So southeast trade winds in warmer subtropical areas of southern ocean. While it crosses equator, it returns southeast due to Coriolis force. It carries moisture from Indian Ocean and brings about rainfall to India. Its speed is usually 30 km per hour. Windward side of the Western Ghats usually receive heavy rainfall around 250 cm during this season. Deccan and Madhya Pradesh also, though they are located on leeward side, they also receive some significant amount of rainfall. Highest rainfall is recorded in Monsoon Winds, a place situated in southern slope of Khasi Hills in Meghalaya. Rainfall decreases from east to west in Gangetic Plain because after deflection from the hilly ranges in northeastern states, wind moves from that area to west, from east to west. Since this wind blows over land, the moisture it carries is lost over its course. So rainfall decreases from east to west in Gangetic Plain. See in the map location of Monsoon Winds, a place in Meghalaya. It is located on the southern slopes of Khasi Hills, windward side. One of the significant parameter of this advancing monsoon is there is some breaks called monsoon breaks in rainfall. We observe because rainfall is happening around the axis of monsoon trough. Wherever this monsoon trough moves, there brings heavy rainfall. From wherever it leaves, there is bound to be some dry spell. There is bound to be experienced some breaks in rainfall. When the monsoon axis is closer to the Himalayas, heavy rainfall occurs in that region. When it moves away from the plain, that plain area is experiencing breaks in the monsoon season. Another important character is uncertain monsoon. Some dry and wet spells vary in intensity, frequency, duration in India. Heavy floods are experienced in one part, whereas the drought is experienced in another part. Monsoon flow, monsoon intensity and frequency, amount and spatial distribution severely affects the schedule of millions of farmers. Next, retreating monsoon or transition season. Apparent movement of sun towards the southern hemisphere weakens the monsoon area in our country. So high pressure develops in northern India. So wind starts moving from north to south. So wind gradually become northeasterly winds. It experiences in October and November hot rainy season and dry winter season. Weather is clear sky, rising temperature is high and day and cool temperature in night. In October, this oppressive weather prevails. There is high temperature and humidity prevails over northern India. This is called October heat. Then cyclonic depressions develops in Andaman Nicobar Island during retreating monsoon period. It crosses eastern coast of India and causes heavy rainfall and widespread damage to both life and property of people. Thickly populated area of Kaveri, Krishna, Godavari are frequently struck by these tropical cyclones developing during retreating monsoon season. Odisha and West Bengal, Bangladesh are also affected by these cyclones. Bulk of rainfall in Coromandel coast is received from depressions and cyclones formed in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Then next is distribution of rainfall. How rainfall is distributed over India. Western coast and northeastern states both are high rainfall receiving zone and they both receive above 400 cm of rainfall annually. Whereas the western Rajasthan and adjoining parts of Gujarat, Haryana, Punjab receives around 60 cm of annual rainfall. Interior of Deccan Plateau and east of Sahyadri Hills also receives low rainfall. Similarly, low precipitation is observed in Leh in Jammu and Kashmir, and the rest of the country receives moderate rainfall. Snowfall is restricted to Himalayan regions only, whereas the other regions receives in the form of water rainfall. Variations of amount of rainfall is high in low rainfall area and low in high rainfall area. Mount Syndrome, it is the highest rainfall receiving place. In this place, both stalactite and stalagmites are observed. Stalactite means these both two structures develops inside caves. In this high rainfall zone, water droplets carries some minerals and deposits over the roof of the caves. That deposits over the roof of the deposits on the upper wall of the inside of a cave is called stalactite, whereas this mineral deposits caused by the rainfall droplet from ground to upwards inside the roof is called stalagmites. Annual rainfall of India is called, with this I have marked high rainfall zone area, western side of Western Ghats and northeastern states. Monsoon as a unifying point. So monsoon, even though monsoon varies across the countries, it acts as a unifying point for people. Himalaya, prevent cold from reaching India. So relative high temperature in northern India. Peninsular climate is moderated by sea on all three sides. Uncertainties of rainfall and uneven distribution of rainfall are typical of monsoon season. Entire Indian landscape, animal and plant life, agriculture calendar, festivities all revolve around this monsoon season. People of India eagerly avoids arrival of monsoon because monsoon provide water to set agricultural activities. River valleys that carry water acts as a unifying force for people. Thank you for watching. Thank you.